Alright, sup guys, how's it going? So I wasn't gonna make a video today, but I was driving and when I drive, I think of video ideas, and I thought of two ideas that I think I'll make both videos about. The first one was explaining some of the worst phases I went through in my life. Obviously, growing up, we all have those weird, awkward phases where we're trying to figure ourselves out. And then I was thinking I'd make a video on my experience with youth football and kind of the good, the bad, because it was if you know me, you've heard my whole football spiel. I think that there are a lot of things wrong with youth football, and this is kind of a different video because I'm not really involved anymore in sports. But if I ever have a kid, or even if I didn't, being a coach, I would definitely maybe not mind being a football coach. So if you know or if you don't know, I know I'm a little skinny, but I played football for 10 years, so decade. Started, in high school before I ended up quitting, which I will get to maybe. But this is more about youth football. I enjoyed high school football a lot more, besides a couple things about it, but I might throw that into another video. That might be for another day, because I liked high school football for the most part. It was fun, but youth football is a different story. I liked youth football. I wouldn't change anything. I'll say that. I met a lot of really awesome people through youth football. All of my best friends growing up I met. Do I talk to any of them anymore? No, not really, but nothing bad happened. It just, stuff kind of happens, but yeah, so today I think I'm gonna kind of walk through this, football, my experience. Curious if anybody else played youth sports growing up. Wow, that's a beautiful sunset. I know you guys can't see this, and I'm not gonna move the camera, but I love this drive. It's really peaceful, especially after a long day at work. But yeah, so as you guys know, and I think honestly, I kind of agree with this. My biggest gripe about youth football is I feel like I don't want to say it's not about the kids at all, because it definitely is still about the kids, but I think the parents take it over a lot. And I will say this much. My dad, who is a great guy, amazing father, super blessed, nothing necessarily bad to say about him, but he was very passionate about football. And he was my coach pretty much my entire football career until I got up to high school and my 14U season, because youth football goes from you can start at 5 and you go to 14, and that's what I did. Same program. Like I said, met a lot of super cool people, but my first 2 years I wasn't really good, but then my third year I played is when I really started to this is the season I started to remember stuff, but it's also the season that I started to get kind of good for an 8-year-old level, and I started feeling pressure, a lot of pressure. I feel like being the coach's kid, you always have this target on your back, because I will say this, and you guys will just have to take my word for it, but I was a good player. I really, really, I don't like to toot my own horn a lot, but I was a good player. And I was a good player, and I started, and I deserved to start. You know, that's just how it is. But I had this target on my back. I was at the point in my life, the entire span up until my 14U season, I really, really cared about what my dad thought. And I remember there was one day in particular, we were playing a game, and I wasn't playing great, and I was kind of in a weird mood, and the coach was like, all right, Jack, go. And this is stupid, all right? I shouldn't have done this, but I was a little kid. If you play sports, you know, like what I'm about to do, you should never do. But coach was like, Jack, go in. The other coach, because it wasn't just my dad, it was other coaches. It's like, Jack, go in on defense. And I told him, I don't want to go in on defense. Now, at this point, okay, another thing I should mention, we lost. We had a losing team every single season up until my 14-year year. And that, I'm not talking about, oh, we almost went 500, which it means like 4-4 or like whatever. We were like winning 0-1 games a year, every single year, dude. Besides when I was like 8 or 9, we had a good team. But after that, yeah. So me and a couple other kids were the only kids that could play, and I felt a lot of pressure. And I remember a specific day, I was fed up because we were fucking losing, and I didn't want to go on defense because I was like, I'm just gonna get fucking destroyed, you know? And I told the coach, like, no. And it's kind of like, I don't know what happened. I remember we would always go after games to places, and my dad was like, I could tell something was off with him, but I was just like, what, fucking whatever. And I noticed he was like ignoring me, which obviously was kind of a common thing. Luckily, I didn't play bad a lot, but whenever I would play bad, it was kind of awkward because he kind of ignored me. And it was really weird. And I felt really uncomfortable. And yeah, but luckily that didn't happen too often. But yeah, basically, and I could ramble about this for ages. So this might have to be a two-parter, but we'll see how long this actually goes. But basically, so I remember we got home and he's in the room with my mom, and I overhear him saying, like, I'm so disappointed in him today. Like, I'm so disappointed. I can't believe he did that. It was embarrassing, or something along the lines of that. And it, like, destroyed me. And from that point on, I had this, like, hyper fixation on, like, I don't want to disappoint my father. Like, I had this hyper fixation on that. And I wasn't playing, to be honest, I wasn't playing football at this point. I enjoyed football, like, kind of. A lot sucked about it, but I enjoyed other parts of it. The friends I made, after game stuff, playing games was fun. But before games, I get so nervous. To the point of throwing up sometimes. I get super nervous. And it was all back to, if I play bad, my dad's gonna be disappointed in me. And basically, I started, at this point, I was pretty good, pretty well known in the organization I was a part of. And I felt like if I quit, I was gonna be letting a lot of people down. So I just was like, I'm not gonna quit. So every time August 1st would roll around, I'd be like, I get dreadful, kind of, because I'd be like, fuck, I have to go out and practice, and it's gonna be hot, and like, it's gonna be like 1,000,000 fucking degrees outside, and it's the end of my summer. Because, alright, I don't know, I like, I would have football at like 6 in the afternoon, but I wouldn't do anything. I would like stay at home all day and play video games or something. Because like, didn't want to be super tired out. And this is kind of just in my head, but that final month before school started was like, it was fucked, kind of. And we were practicing every day. But basically, you know, football was fun. I met a lot of really cool people, but like, I was like, from this point, I was like, I don't want to be disappointed, or like my dad to be disappointed in me. It's kind of a big thing. And this followed me, and I remember, like, before every game, I get so fucking nervous, and I look around, and I would see the other kids, like, laughing and giggling and shit, and I kind of envied it. I was like, why am I not able to do that? Why do I feel so fucking nervous I'm, like, about to throw up, you know? Like, I was like, why can't I just be like that? And I think there's pros and cons about having a parental figure as a coach on a team, but to be completely honest with you, I don't know. High school was nice. The pressure was still on me in high school, but not nearly as bad. I still got nervous, but it wasn't, oh my God, like, I just remember I would wake up in the morning on game day. It would be like, it was insane. I would get so fucking nervous. It'd be like, I'd be counting down the fucking days, and it was like, I just hope I don't play bad, you know? And like, yeah, it sucked. It sucked being that nervous. I missed a lot of family events, which my family was not happy about. Like, apparently, I didn't know this, but there was a lot of conflict between my dad and me with football and, like, my other family members. When it came to, like, missing birthdays and other stuff, like, yeah, it was, I hated practice. Games were fun. I hated practice. It seemed like such a time dump. And I remember, like, practices, I felt like I couldn't even really have fun. I remember one time in specific, I remember, let me think. I was like, me and this kid were playing around, and we were laughing, and we were doing a drill or something, and we were laughing, and it was like really quick, like we weren't really out of focus or anything, and the coach, which was my dad, was like, line the fuck up, and I was like, oh my God, and I was like, I felt like I couldn't have fun, if that makes sense. Like, my dad would always be like, football is about having fun, like, just go out there and have fun, when I was like so fucking nervous, and like, I'd get out there and I like fuck up or something, and it'd be like, lock the fuck in. And I get it, you know, coach was supposed to try to do it, but I was like, dude, like, I'm 10 years old, bro. And like, yeah, I just, it was a lot of anxiety for me. It was a lot of trying to please other people, honestly. I'm kind of it's something I'm getting better at, but something that's still, I struggle with. I'm a people pleaser, okay? I tend to be a people pleaser, and I feel like football is a perfect example, because it was always about other people. I want to be here for my team, this, which is good, but like, I wasn't really there for myself. I was there for a bunch of other people. And yeah, I mean, like I said, 14U season was a fucking blast. Great group of guys. My dad coached, but he took more of a side coach role, which I enjoyed. A lot of people also, even parents, and this is why I say, like, I would be starting, and, you know, obviously, you know, it's like, coach's kid's starting, and it's like, I would go out there and prove it. Like, prove I deserve to be out there. Like, I would do that every single time I went to fucking practice and went to games. But people and parents, this is like, parents are, I didn't realize how shitty the parents can be, bro. And this is the other thing. It's like, sorry, I needed to like speed the fuck past this giant ass truck. But the parents also, it's like, I remember one time I literally think I was having heat exhaustion or something. I couldn't fucking keep going. I had to leave, and I told my dad, like, Dad, I gotta go. I can't fucking do this. And he was like, okay. And he started explaining this one coach, like, look, he's a really tough kid. I promise. Like trying to reason with him. And I was like, dude, like, I didn't understand in the moment. I was like, bro, it's like, it almost, it almost is like, I don't know. It's just like, I feel like it's all about looks and how does my kid look? And if my kid doesn't look good, it's a poor reflection, which I think is true. But not with fucking football, man. I mean, these parents, and I can't even, like, when it comes to like parents cheering and stuff, like, people, I'm sure you've seen videos, people getting into fights and all this shit. It's such a pride thing, and it's like, I don't get it, bro. The parents are more into it than the fucking children. Like, the amount of times, and it's all for like, it's just all for other people. So it's like, it's just all about other people, bro. And I don't think my dad was doing this as much. I think he genuinely wanted me to develop as a football player, and stuff, like, he, you know, but I think a lot of people will be like, look, Christian's playing football, my boy, I love him, I'm so proud of him. And then it's like, behind the scenes, it's like you need to do good, come on, like, I'm not paying, I swear to God, and it's different probably, but bro, I was firsthand, I'd see people like not really play a lot or not play well and stuff, and some parents were obviously like, oh, I'm glad you had fun, but dude, some parents were like, you need to be better, like, I'm not paying for you to come out here and have fucking fun, and I'm like, dude, like, obviously at the time I didn't realize, but I was like, dude, a lot of these parents take this shit way too fucking seriously. And I think my dad did also. I think a lot of the coaches did. Not just my dad. I think it's just a passion thing. I think it's like, you're really passionate about the sport and you really, like, I get it. But I mean, some coaches, and my dad was not one of the coaches, I'm gonna be honest with you. But there were definitely some coaches that were, I would say, batshit insane, probably. My brother, actually, he played football for 2 weeks and quit. Yep. And in those 2 weeks, he had a coach, and he was probably like 7, 8, maybe 9 at the time, very young. And the coach literally told a bunch of 9-year-olds, right? If it was like 14U or something, I would understand it. But these are a bunch of 9-year-olds. And he straight up tells them, like, if you lean with your head like this, you will die. And yes, I get what he's saying. He's talking about tackling. If you lean with your head, you could very well get a neck injury, and it could lead to paralysis or death or whatever. But, dude, telling a bunch of 9-year-olds, if you do this, you are going to die, is a little extreme, I think. And this could just be me being kind of a soft cushion person, I guess. I don't know. But I just think that's like, you want kids to fall in love with the sport. And I feel like a lot of these coaches don't give a fuck, honestly. Now, my dad, like I said, he gave a fuck. He loved all the guys, and, you know, he was a good coach. I mean, sure, not everybody's perfect, but some of these coaches were fucking insane. I mean, like, and I mean, I get it, you know, like, you want to win and everything, but at the end of the day, like, it's youth football, and yeah, I don't know. So yeah, that's probably it for this video. Like I said, some good things came out of football. I learned a lot of communication skills. I met a shit ton of people. It kind of accelerated me into high school, because in high school I was a very awkward kid, very awkward, very to myself. So being on the football team, I got to meet a lot of people easily. And it was, like I said, I'll make a high school video because high school was pretty fun. But I'll probably just make another video about like high school in general, because honestly, the high school kind of fucking sucked. I was like awkward and kind of weird and silent, and I didn't like interacting with people a lot, but I had a couple really close friends that I still talk to today, but that might be for another story, or for that'll be for another day. But yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you had any experiences with like youth sports where parents were taking it way too far, or you know, nightmare coach from hell or something like that, let me know, because I'm sure I'm not the only one that's kind of been through this shit. I feel like everybody's had a shit fucking coach experience. Yeah, but I hope you guys enjoyed, and I will talk to you guys tomorrow, or not tomorrow, I don't know when. Let me see if I can get this sunset. Maybe I can, like, kind of. All right, bye.